Today on Belmont Park Live, Pink Twist tries to shake off a poor showing in the slop with an equipment change and back to a preferred fast track. Make the difference today. Blurred Line put it all together for his maiden win in his last start, yet he'll make an equipment change off that performance. He is the one to beat in today's 7th race. And after coming up just short against multiple stakes winner offering plan last time out, Wrapped drops in class, trying to pick up his first win in over a year. Welcome to Belmont Park Live on this Wednesday afternoon. It is the final week of the meet at Belmont Park before we shift upstate to Saratoga. It's presented by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Great to have you with us as we kick off our final week of action here at Big Sandy. Before we head to the spot, Greg Wolf and Gabby Gaudet, just the two of us up here on the set today.
Just the two of us.
We
right?
can make it if we try. We're going to try and hit this pick 4 this afternoon. And that feature race, that 8th race in which Wrapped is taking that big drop in class. The two speedsters to the outside make this race a little interesting.
Very interesting. I thought it was a difficult sequence today, the pick 4, because you're not really standing on a lot of solid ground. I do think that Wrapped is vulnerable, but maybe a difficult one to toss out of your picks.
Yeah, Harlan's Hunch coming off a big time effort, won by 6 lengths last start. So we'll see if this horse can go back-to-back for trainer Danny Gargan. Of course, there's going to be other speed to the outside with Dr. Edgard, but this race last out, this was a big effort.
It was a big effort. Now, the thing about this effort, though, is that it was against maybe easier company than what he faces here today. He has to take a big step up in class, but he does look like the lone speed. Speed has been holding pretty well on the turf here as of late, so he could find himself in a position to be in that position again.
That was Kendrick Carmouche aboard for that victory. It'll be Irad Ortiz Jr., the meet's leading rider, on board today. Time for weather and track conditions as we look at today's races. We start in the 6th with the pick 4. We'll get those track conditions in a sec here. Allowance race kicks things off. New York Bred's going a mile on the main track in the 6th. Race 7th, inner turf at a mile and a 16th. New York Bred entry-level allowances. Well, that featured race we talked about, the 8th, is a mile and a 16th on the turf. We close things out in a race that has completely changed. That nightcap major scratch with a 7 in there. New York Bred maiden claimers with Okiyamo out, wide open. Would you agree?
I definitely would agree. It's a tough way to cap it off.
There's our weather and track conditions brought to you by Piranha Fly Spray. Preferred fly spray of Belmont Park. Piranha on, pests gone. Except for one of our assistants, Harry Rice. It does not seem to work on him.
He can't bat him away.
Race 6 is a 1-turn mile. New York Bred entry-level allowance. 2-1 right now on Pink Twist. Blinkers coming off today for John Terranova. Horse used to be with Todd Pletcher. Irad Ortiz Jr. will be aboard. Going to check in now with the only other member of our crew today. We're the skeleton crew. It's Maggie Wolfendale. This Paddock report brought to you by Hillendale Farm. Now standing curling for $150,000. Hi, Maggie.
Hey, Greg. Just got the riders up call here in the paddock, so going to breeze through these as we'll take a look at 2 fillies who have yet to go past 7 furlongs, trying the mile for the first time, including number 6, Strawberry Tequila. Now, on first kind of instinct, I would say this filly physically isn't built for this kind of distance, but she is by Daher out of a Deja mare, so there's pedigree for her to handle it. I thought it was interesting. Jeremiah Engelhardt took her head immediately when she walked in here, at best trying to keep her as quiet as possible to conserve that energy, which I think is key. I like her. I think she's interesting based upon that pedigree standpoint. Now, number 8 is Rachel's Blue Moon, who is also trying to stretch out and staying on the dirt here. This is the most fit I've ever seen this filly look. And while she is on the smaller side, very much of that Bodemeister type of frame, they're more even built. They're not built downhill like a quarter horse. So she's intriguing as well. Now, number 3, Puffery, is one that has only gone long on a sloppy track. Willing to forgive her for that. Getting on a fast track, going the 1-turn mile here for Mark Henning, and she, of the ones kind of stretching out, if you will, for the first time with that caveat, looks the most convincing. Greg?
All right, Maggie, thank you. We are approaching the 8-minute mark to post. We'll have the post parade coming up next. Want to remind you, everyone get signed up, started, play along. We have a $200 new member sign-up bonus. Go to NYRABets.com. Bet any track, anytime, anywhere. Use the promo code LIVE to take advantage, get started, and play along with all these races that we're showing you each and every day on Belmont Park Live. All right, pick 4. Here's what Gabby came up with.
We need to pad this bankroll before we go up north to Saratoga. We need to make some money, so hopefully we can do that today. I wanted some coverage in this first leg of the pick 4. My anchor comes in race 7. That's with Gotham Storm. By no means is he the favorite, and by no means is he a sure shot winner, but I do have the most confidence in him and in that race. Race 8, I really wanted some coverage because I thought the favorite was vulnerable. We'll wrap it up with that maiden $40,000 claimer with just 3.
Good sequence today. Already 150,000 plus in the pick 4 pools. You get a look at Sam the Bugler. And here comes our post parade. We'll start things off with Maz Mania for Gary Siaka coming off a monster maiden claiming win. It was in the slop in start number 19.
Major win. Will look to continue that momentum. Taking a big step up in class right now, and rightly so, 15-1.
Rider change on the 2. Eric Consell rides for Gary Siaka on Carlisle Bell.
Another one who's coming fresh off of a maiden win, 2 for Gary Siaka.
Another big price on the 2. The 3, Puffery, who Maggie was talking about, for Mark Hennig, daughter of Flatter, with John Velasquez.
Got the blinkers on last time out, now stretches back in distance. We'll see how this filly fares, but she definitely does have some talent.
Pink Twist has been favored throughout. The blinkers come off today for John Terranova.
And an odd one in that she had success earlier this year. Can she bounce back off of her performance last time out?
Strawberry Tequila, we will see next. Luis Saez will ride. There's the daughter of Daher for Jeremiah Engelhardt, coming off a 3rd at this level.
You hope that she can show a little bit of improved speed now stretching out in distance, because she'll have to. She has not run a fast enough race to win just yet.
Pas de deux. Am I saying that right?
Sure.
John Morrison, Rajiv Mirage.
Coming off of a maiden special weight victory, you don't know if she improved because of the sloppy conditions last time out or the distance.
And Jimmy Jerkins trains Rachel's Blue Moon. Manny Franco aboard.
Thought this one had a sneaky look to her. Jimmy Jerkins with stretch outs with his allowance horses. Really good stats.
And Salty Smile. Blinkers going on for John Toscano, 2nd off the claim with Joel Rosario.
First off the claim, tested her against Allowance Company. I actually think that she meets a more manageable field today than last.
3-1, second choice on the board. You can get involved playing today's races without risking any of your own money in the Belmont Showdown. Go to NYRA.com/showdown. Enter your picks in the online contest for the races that are on our air. We're going to show the top 10 at the end of the broadcast, and you're competing for real prizes, again, without risking any of your own money. So good luck to everyone. Fun way to get involved and kind of get acclimated to how to play the horses, or even if you know already, compete for some real prizes in addition to playing along.
Yeah, it's a fun way to get involved and to keep on paying attention to the races today.
All right, here's Pink Twist. This was 2 starts back, and this was the 3rd start of her career. She had the lead late. She'd just get caught.
Yeah, and I didn't really like this race, Greg. I mean, I know that she was just beating a neck, but she was 25 cents of the dollar in this race. She made that move. She looked like she was surely going to win at the top of the stretch, and she just could not seal the deal and deliver. So that on top of her last race, which was, you know, not very good, to say the least, I don't know if I have a lot of confidence in her.
She was well clear, at least, of the 3rd place finisher, but it may be even more troubling out of that. Just couldn't stand up in the slop, but maybe put a line through that. Totally different track dealing with today. Meanwhile, Maggie Wolfendale standing by with a trainer of Rachel's Blue Moon, the 8.
That's right. Very pleased to be joined by Jimmy Jerkins here, guys. And Rachel's Blue Moon, Jimmy, the first horse you saddled yourself since back from minor heart surgery.
Yeah, you know, it was kind of a rough week, but I can feel myself bouncing back quick. I think everything's going to be good.
Well, that is the best news that we could ever imagine. And Rachel's Blue Moon, this is the first time she's going long here. Is there any indication in the morning, or at least in her races, that it gives you promise that she'll handle the mile?
Maybe more in her last 2 races than anything. You know, she's kind of I can't get much gauge on her in the morning. She doesn't in company. She's better than she is by herself. But you know, the thing that worries me about her, especially in a hot day like today, she's a little bit of a delayed sweater. You know, she has not really sweats freely like you'd like. You know, I kind of worry about that today, as hot as it is. But she seems to deal with it a little better than all the others I've had, so hopefully she can overcome it.
And obviously, yeah, thanks for sharing that. And American Guru, an exciting horse in your barn, broke through that 2 other than condition. And he's kind of funny. He's gone from 5 to 6 to 7 to a mile as far as his races are concerned. Do you take another progression and step into stakes company next time out?
Well, it looks like it. You know, they usually, you know, only good ones, real good ones can do like he's done. So, you know, and he's bred for it. He showed signs even since he was a 2-year-old. He had a bad injury as a 2-year-old, and he was put away for a long time. And it took a long time to get him going. But once we got him there in Florida, he's got them long, springy pasterns and a big round foot. And I just thought starting him on the turf, I never worked him on it or anything. I just ran him on it, and he just ran like a forget it. He went with his mouth open. So it's been, you know, it's been all good since.
Well, you say that. Did you actually think that he could probably handle the dirt as well?
Yeah, matter of fact, if it came off the other day for some reason, I was gonna give it a shot. Yeah.
Awesome, Jimmy. Well, best of luck with him. He's a very exciting horse, and good luck here with Rachel's Blue Moon.
Thank you very much.
Greg, always good to see Jimmy Jerkins here at the races.
Incredible to see him back. It's great news. Everyone happy to see him. It was last week. He was at the hospital on Monday for heart surgery. Had a couple of stents put in. He was back at the racetrack working with his horses on Friday.
You can't keep him away. That's the best thing to cure any type of illness or problem, is to be back in your routine. And I'm sure Jimmy was happy to be back at the barn where he always is.
Absolutely. Rachel's Blue Moon right now, 7-1 on the board. Real quick, before we get back to this race, we're about to break here for the start of this Pick 4. Some big news with our Triple Crown winner who made history, Justify training. They have stopped on him. They were still kind of figure out where they wanted to run him next. Had some filling in his left front ankle that they discovered. He's going to get it checked out. Did not train the latter part of the week. They've stopped on him. So we're waiting to hear more.
Now, I do believe he will be shipped to Del Mar, where they're kind of going to make that shift with all of Bob Baffert's horses. But as you said, Greg, they're pausing his training right now. We hope that it's a minor issue and that he can get back to doing what he does best.
All right, so as soon as we hear any new news on Triple Crown winner Justify, we hope to see him back. We will definitely pass that along. We're going to talk a little more 3-year-old division a little bit later on in the show. Dave Grenning's going to join us from the Daily Racing Forum as we get set for the start. Still 2-1. Public still on board. Pink Twist here as the horse to beat, who we showed you in that effort a couple of starts back. But there's some question marks definitely with her.
There are, and look, the sloppy sealed track, it could have been a major issue with her in that she didn't handle it whatsoever. Now the blinkers come off. I don't know. I couldn't get a good grasp of her, and I really thought that this race was highly impacted by the scratches. You know, when you're originally going to look at this race, it looked like the top 2 that scratched, you know, you could at least have an anchor with some of those, and now I think it's more wide open. So I don't know if you just want to land on the favorite here.
Yeah, Satisfy the 9 definitely would have been the horse to beat. Salty Smile, meanwhile, on the outside. Equipment change, blinkers going on. If she... how much more would she need to move forward off that to beat this field?
I think she would, but the question is, what is she facing here today? I do think it could potentially be a suspect field. Thought the winner of her last race was actually pretty legitimate. There's still a question of class with her. She looks like she really does break through at the claiming level, but she has difficulty to break through once they start putting her in allowance company, whether it be in John Toscano's barn or her previous barn in Rudy Rodriguez.
You see that bullet drill, too, on July the 4th. Quickest of 45. You assume that was with the equipment change. Blinkers on. As we again... Who are we looking at here?
The number 8, Rachel's Blue Moon. I did pick her. And all of those things that Jimmy Jerkins did mention in the interview with Maggie, there are concerns, and you could kind of see that on her page in that they tried sprinting her on the turf, they tried sprinting her on the dirt, now they're stretching her out in distance. Jimmy's trying to find an identity to her, and I think that when she kind of gets up in the action with other horses, which will probably happen since she's getting at a distance, it might wake her up a little bit. So I'm willing to give her a shot, and the price is right to me at 7-1.
259,000 plus in this late pick 4 pool. And growing, so get down. Still a little bit of time to do so. Who do you think gets a lead in this race?
I wouldn't be surprised if Pink Twist got aggressive and made the lead. I also wouldn't be surprised if we saw Paddock maybe keep her honest on the front end. That's where I kind of saw it. Potentially Salty Smile wouldn't be too far away, but I mean, Pink Twist is fast. So I would think that she could be the main speed unless they want to target for her.
Got the lead sprinting, first time out. So we'll see. Should be able to relax with that equipment change. If she can get to the front, making that change and be there by herself, she can be very dangerous in here. The 10 horse has become co-favorite now.
Wow.
With Pink Twist. Actually is slightly favored.
Yeah, you have to pay attention to that. That's a late shift. A lot of money going to the 10 Salty Smile. A lot of the time, that means they're live.
Gate open on the 6, Strawberry Tequila. She could be very close here as well, stretching out.
She could be. I guess. I mean, I kind of saw her maybe sitting 3rd or 4th flight in here, even with the added distance. I just think that there are faster fillies. Remember, there are other fillies that show sprint speed that are too getting added distance.
Favorite Pink Twist or co-favorite stepping in. Let's send it upstairs for the start of this late pick 4. Here's the voice of horse racing's Triple Crown for the call, Larry Colmus.
Salty Smile is in, and they're all in line. They're off. Rachel's Blue Moon out for the lead with Pas de Deuce and Puffery on the inside. On the far outside, Salty Smile is away running in 4th. Strawberry Tequila is 5th, and Pink Twist in 6th. Masmania and Carlisle Bell. Rachel's Blue Moon and Salty Smile to make the pace here. These two locked in early battle. Puffery is 2 lengths off of them. Then it's Pas de Deuce on the outside as they go by the opening quarter in 22.68 seconds. Strawberry Tequila paired up with Pink Twist. They're racing 6.5 lengths off the lead, clear of Masmania. And on her outside, it's Carlisle Bell. Rachel's Blue Moon is the leader. Puffery in close attendance with Salty Smile on the outside. These three head for the turn, just ahead of Pas de Deuce, who follows in 4th, Pink Twist 5th. Strawberry Tequila put to pressure after a half in 45.38 seconds. The pace has been fast. Masmania's next, and Carlisle Bell on the outside. Rachel's Blue Moon, 3/4 of a length ahead of Puffery as they round the far turn. Pas de Deuce moving up a bit in 3rd, Pink Twist 4th on the inside. Salty Smiles out there. Then Strawberry Tequila, Carlisle Bell, and Masmania. Rachel's Blue Moon and Puffery turning for home 1-2. 3/4, 109.91. They're into the stretch. Rachel's Blue Moon trying to take him the distance as she attempts to put away Puffery with a furlong to run. Pink Twist is 3rd and now angling to the outside with a late run, but it's still Rachel's Blue Moon. Rachel's Blue Moon by 2.5 to Puffery, and on the outside comes Pink Twist. Rachel's Blue Moon every step of the way. Manny Franco's 3rd on the card. Pink Twist was 2nd, Puffery was 3rd, Strawberry Tequila 4th in 136.49.
Rachel's Blue Moon with the win at 6-1 on the board. 3 today for jockey Manny Franco.
And he has been riding lights out here at the Belmont Park Spring Meet. So a hats off ride there by Manny Franco. Just getting aggressive with this filly, having a plan once the gates open, taking her to the lead, getting her involved in the rest of the horses. I mean, I think that is what she has been looking for, is a little bit of a fight. And she finally had the opportunity to do it on the front end there. Great decision by Jimmy Jerkins, getting her that added distance too.
And for Pink Twist, she winds up 2nd in here. Kind of a grinding effort, not what we're used to seeing from her. She's usually been forwardly placed. She was very far back early.
She was, but she too, I still don't think she had that much of an excuse in here. She, I thought, had a little bit of a class advantage as we see Jimmy Jerkins walking down to the winner's circle. Must be a nice sigh of relief to get that win today.
Yeah, well done. Again, he was just in the hospital last week having a couple of stents put in for heart surgery. Great to see him back in the winner's circle. Well done, Jimmy Jerkins. And his daughter of Bodemeister gets the job done here at 6-1. To start off the late pick 4, it's Rachel's Blue Moon here in race 6. We will be back with the prices. Manny Franco having the hot hand on this Wednesday afternoon to start off our final week of action here at Belmont Park. 3rd winner on the card, and perhaps more to come. We'll be back with more Belmont Park Live right after this break.
Three-time graded stakes winning millionaire defeated 20 Grade 1 winners. In the Dixie Stakes, he defeated Canadian champion and horse of the year Up with the Birds and set a new course record at Saratoga. runner-up in the Grade 1 Manhattan and Shadwell Turf Mile, Ironicus ran 7 triple-digit buyers, including this score in the Fort Marcy Stakes. Half to 4 graded stakes winners, Ironicus has the speed, class, and bloodlines to become the next great sire by distorted humor. Ironicus at Claiborne Farm. His record-breaking accomplishments on the racetrack paved his way here to the Stall of Legends. Now retired to stud, we welcome the dawning of a new era as this esteemed champion hopes to stake his claim to immortality. His blazing speed and striking good looks have been passed down to his remarkable first foals. Foals that will carry the flag of their famous father and one day hope to break records of their own. Medication-free and undefeated in sprint competition. Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Back on Belmont Park Live. And it is Rachel's Blue Moon to kick off our late pick 4 sequence with a victory. And there is Manny Franco, again, his 3rd winner on today's card, teaming up with Jimmy Jerkins.
And Jimmy Jerkins with stretch outs on the dirt, his statistics speak for themselves, and this is just another one to add to the list. Did a great job in trying to find the identity for this filly. He got that done with giving her that added distance and making the lead today.
Daughter of Bodie Meister returns $15.80 for the win pick twist, and Puffery complete that trifecta. Goes back $60 for 50 cents.
Good way to start the late pick 4, right?
You liked this one, didn't you?
I did.
Nice. Well done. We're going to send it downstairs. Maggie Wolfendale with the hot hand today.
That's right. Picking up his 3rd winner, Manny Franco here. And Manny, let's start with Rachel's Blue Moon. You were aggressive with her. She was a filly stretching out, and you kind of ran them off their feet.
Yeah, Maggie, she ran super today. After that break, because she broke sharp, I don't want to get on her way. She took me there, and I just was trying to, relax the most I could, but she did it.
She was very good today, and you are very good today as well, picking up, your hat trick here. Did you go in today feeling as though you would be able to pick up this many wins?
I mean, every day I came with, I come positive to the jocks room, and I want to win, so that's what I'm trying to do.
Now you're 3rd in the standings behind the Ortiz brothers. You're good friends with them. You think you're going to ever turn the tables on those two?
Some of the day.
That's the attitude. I like it, Manny. Congratulations on your big day.
Thank you, Maggie.
All right, Greg.
Maggie, thank you. He's very live, really the rest of the card, but certainly in the next 2 races as well. In that 8th race, he's going to be on board Wrapped, who is taking a big drop in class.
And it's good to see Manny do well because he works incredibly hard in the morning, as do the 2 that he alluded to, Jose and Irad. But this has got to do a lot for his confidence levels going into a meet like Saratoga as well.
On this race coming up, he's going to be on Phone Funky Monkey, who has a big shot as well. David Donk been really heating up over the last couple of weeks. 2nd start off the bench for that son of Data Link. So we'll preview that 7th when we return. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Dave Gretting, your correspondent for the Daily Racing Forum, joins us to talk all sorts of things. 3-year-old pictures, some standout performers at this Belmont meet, and a look ahead to what we have waiting for us at Saratoga. We'll be back right after this.
Make NYRA Bets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With Naira Bets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NairaBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. Get a $200 new member sign-up bonus on NairaBets.com.
Lightfoot switches back to the outside. Exaggerator down to the 16th pole, but Exaggerator has turned the tables. He has won the Preakness. He has won the Travers over American Flag.
Irish War Cry has won the Wood Memorial.
Alice. Good Magic's gonna win his first race, and he's gonna do it in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
It doesn't really, no.
Always a grind.
Dave, can you say a few words to check your mic?
Dave Grenning, Racing Form, Saratoga, how's everybody? Did England win? Anybody know?
How's that sound? Is that good?
It was 1-1 in overtime or extra.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You're getting texts from Andy critiquing.
You're watching Belmont Park Live on MSG Plus. As we start our final week here of Belmont Park and shift up on the 20th of July to Saratoga. We're going to talk about that and a lot more with Dave Grenning, who joins us, New York correspondent for the Daily Racing Forum. Good to have you up here.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start with the big horse who was here and made history just a few weeks ago, Justify, and the latest news that they have backed off training after finding some issues with him. What's going on? What's the latest with Justify?
Yeah, well, he had some filling in an ankle, his left front ankle, that they've stopped on him for a little bit. They're going to reevaluate him in 2 weeks. He's at Santa Anita right now, just walking the shed row each day. He will transfer next week to Del Mar with Baffert String and walk again until they reevaluate him, and then they'll make a decision, I guess, whether to put him back in training or pull the plug.
Real quick, you hear news like that, and what's your gut feeling in terms of we're going to see him again?
Yeah, my gut feeling is we won't see him again. But I also thought that after the Belmont, like I was thinking that he would go to WinStar Farm, like a lot of those horses do. WinStar horses, they go there for a freshening, and then they determine whether we'll see them again or not. And during that course of time, you evaluate how the horse is doing, but then you're making stallion deals or finalizing stallion deals or talking to people that you're going to finalize stallion deals with down the road and determine what they want to do with the horse. And I think this was not the case. He went to Kentucky to be paraded at Churchill, and then the next day he was back in California. So there was intent to race him again until this incident came up, and now it puts that plan in flux.
And how do you think that obviously it's a huge shift in the 3-year-old picture now. How do you think that does shift it? I mean, obviously we saw talk of Catholic Boy now potentially pointing towards the Travers. What kind of change will you think we'll see in the second half of the year for the 3-year-olds? I
do think if Justified doesn't show up in the Travers, and I got to think even if he does race again, that won't be his return race. I do think Catholic Boy will show up in the Travers. In my conversation with Jonathan Thomas, the trainer, before the race, he kind of thought if we were to win the Belmont Derby, it makes it easier to go back to the dirt and try that, and that could make him even more valuable than he already is. I mean, he's already a Grade 2 winner on dirt, having won the Remsen. Now he's a Grade 1 winner on turf. He's a gorgeous-looking horse. That horse has a future as a stallion somewhere, but now it makes the Travers a little bit more attractive because, to be honest with you, who's the favorite in the Travers right now? Would it be Good Magic? Well, we haven't seen him since the Preakness. He's going to run in the Haskell. Would it be Vino Rosso, or he's running the Jim Dandy, or Hofberg, or somebody has to step up and fill the void. And Catholic Boy has shown one thing: he's wants a mile and a quarter. Why not? And he's shown he can handle dirt. So I would think that he'll show up there.
We saw another big performance from a 3-year-old, but it's not he's looking like he's going to stay at one-turn races now. Firenze Fire. Lights out performance off that freshening. He was actually the first horse out of the Kentucky Derby, aside from Justify, to come back and win.
Well, that's interesting. I didn't realize that. That is interesting. It was a dynamite performance. You know, it was only just last fall where he won a one-turn mile race at Belmont Park called the Champagne, which is a grade 1, and he beat a horse called Good Magic, who wound up being the 2-year-old champion. So that he would come back here and win a grade 1 or graded stakes at a one-turn mile at Belmont Park isn't that surprising. Maybe winning by 9 is a bit surprising. You wondered how he would fare off the Triple Crown trail, you know, the grind up to it. It looks like he was going, each of the last 2 or 3 races looked like he was going the wrong way. But he came out of the Derby well, freshened up, and now he's back to doing what he does best. I think they'll resist. When you say change in the 3-year-olds, you know, the owner got his thrill going to the Derby. He'd probably think, well, can we go to the Haskell? I think Jason Service, the trainer's got him reeled in and like, let's concentrate on the races that we know he's best at. And the Alan Jerkins 7/8 at the end of the Saratoga meet is that race.
Well, everything can change race by race. Even going into the Dwyer, all talk was about Mendelssohn.
Right.
Your opinion of Mendelssohn's performance and moving forward, it seems like Aidan O'Brien wasn't that concerned with his performance and still on track to the Breeders' Cup Classic.
I guess, to me, you know, I just thought it was an okay race. I think this is a turf horse who happened to run very good in the UAE Derby. Okay, that didn't translate to the Kentucky Derby. I understand it's a differently run race. They're trying to use the American races to try and get him used to that type of racing, especially when you get a bigger field like in the Breeders' Cup Classic. That didn't happen in the Dwyer. It was a smaller field. He showed a little bit of speed. I think he's best at a miler. To me, if I was pointing him to a Breeders' Cup race, it would be the Breeders' Cup Mile, not the Breeders' Cup Classic.
Yes, and they seem determined to keep him on dirt. They said it's a building block and they can move forward off that. So interesting. Couple of very good 3-year-old fillies we saw here as well over the past few weeks. Monomoy Girl, Midnight Bijou. Who's impressed you the most between those two?
Monomoy Girl's been nothing but impressive. I mean, she's 7 for 8, 1 loss. I thought her performance in the Oaks was solid, and she ran very well in the Acorn with a perfect trip, though. Midnight Bijou comes off the bench and runs Dynamite. Really in a small field. Did beat the horse that was the only one to beat Monomoy Girl. And in her first start for Steve Asmussen. Steve Asmussen has done well with 3-year-old fillies that he gets later after they've established themselves with someone else. But I think the Coaching Club American Oaks is where they're going to meet. And that's the first weekend of the Saratoga season. And it's rare when the Coaching Club upends the Alabama, but I think that's going to happen this year because I don't think Monomoy Girl has the Alabama in her sights. But these two meet up in a race like the Coaching Club American Oaks. I think that makes that first weekend of Saratoga must-see TV.
Now, the news came out that Caledonia Road has since been retired, juvenile filly champion last year. But do you get the feeling, even though that she is not involved in the 3-year-old picture anymore, do you get the feeling that this division is getting stronger and stronger as the year progresses?
Yeah, I mean, you got those two that we just mentioned, Wonder Godot up in Canada. I guess she goes back for the race up there, but it could come back later in the meeting, or if not Belmont or not Saratoga, Belmont. I think it is. I think it is picking up. I think you're getting the Baffert filly, the Dream Tree, back in training. The horse that Mendelssohn beat, Rhea. Was second, and I'd go a long way second. I think she's back training. I think it's a division that is picking up some steam.
We've said it a lot on this show. This is our final week here, and then we're going to shift gears. We're going to head upstate to the spot, Saratoga. Tell us a little bit about just what that means to you, what makes that meet so special to you.
Well, the thing about Saratoga is you don't know what you're going to see on any given day. So you talk about Caledonia Road. She shows up. She breaks her maiden on an off-the-turf race. I think it was an off-the-turf race on a Sunday. The first race on Travers Day goes off at, what, 12 o'clock, 12:30, 11:30? And you don't know what you're going to see there. Last year we saw Good Magic get beat, and then he becomes the 2-year-old champion. A random Monday in Saratoga, a horse called Diversify wins a race called the Evan Shipman, and then he comes back and wins the Jockey Club Gold Cup and then the Suburban last Saturday. So the wonderful thing about Saratoga is you don't know what day you're going to see the next potential superstar.
Now, we had a really cool storyline last year with Chad Brown and Todd Pletcher kind of going nose and nose to the wire in terms of leading trainer. The jockeys race was pretty tight as well and impressive. What are some predictions for this season going into the meet in terms of jockeys and trainers? Do you think we're going to have any standout meets by anyone in particular?
I think Chad will win the meet. I know that's he's 1 to 5 to do that. I think he just got a little bit more depth than Todd has, but Todd always fires with the 2-year-olds. I mean, he's won double-digit 2-year-old races over, I don't know, probably going back to 2006, if not sooner earlier. Chad's got a good group of 2-year-olds, though. He went overseas last year to buy out of the yearling sale, English, the foreign pedigrees, European-based pedigrees, and I think you'll see some of those show up on the grass to go along with what he already has. So I think he'll close the gap in the 2-year-old ranks, but we still have the depth of the other ranks. Like the Diana, there's 15 nominations. He's got 7 of them.
It's incredible.
Could run 4, and maybe the best. Maybe of the 4 that he chooses, one of the other 3 could have won it. In fact, one of the other 3 is a filly named Cadura, who was second in it last year to Lady Eli when she was with Graham. So he's just got so much depth that I think it overpowers. Jockey race should be interesting. Jose Ortiz won it the last 2 years. Irad's going to win this meet and go up there with some momentum. Manny Franco, who we've seen win 3 races today, had a very good meet last year, should only move forward off that. I think Javier Castellano comes back to the pack a little bit. Johnny rides not frequently enough to be a contender for the title, but he'll win his share of races. It'll be like this, a little bit of a blanket, but one of the Ortizes will rise to the top. And maybe this year I'd go with Irad a little bit over Jose, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be close, just like last year.
We appreciate it. Dave Grenning from the Daily Racing Forum. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Great insights, as always. We have to get back to business. We have 11 minutes till the 7th race coming up, so we need to get downstairs to Maggie Wolfendale. It's time for a Paddock Report. It's brought to you by Hillendale Farm, now standing Byron for $25,000. Maggie?
Thanks, Greg. And I want to check in with horses who are kind of second off of the layoff here. And we'll begin with number 6. That is Phone Funky Monkey, a horse that I had liked last time. And yeah, I thought he looked pretty fit. Obviously, the tightener has done him well, and he does look like a much more defined individual this time around. And 2, going back to that race, I just felt as though he continuously lost position throughout the entire running. And I think kind of having that rustiness off with that first race of this year behind him, I think he can make a better showing of himself. I'm a fan of this horse. I think he's okay. Hopefully, he gets back on track here. Now, a lot of people liking number 7, Gotham Storm, taking the blinkers off here for the first time in his career. He's one that got a bit hot, which is always an indication of a horse who needs a race in his last start. He's so much more tucked up, and yes, he looks wet, but that's because they sponged him down quite generously here in the paddock. And I just think this horse, like Phone Funky Monkey, is primed and ready for a better effort second off the bench. One coming in off the bench is number 5 in here, Ides of Arch, who has been okay in some of his races, but I just feel as though this guy is going to need a start just for everything to kind of tuck up, come up, strengthen across that top line. Overall, I just have seen him look much more robust and strong than what he does here today. So looking for that race to get him where he needs to be, Greg.
All right, Maggie, thank you. Our post-parade coming up here in a few moments. We said Manny Franco has the hot hand, but handicapping-wise, you have the hot hand.
I don't know about that. One win isn't. I don't consider that a hot hand yet.
I do.
Yet.
So right now, Gotham Storm, blinkers off, favored, and that's who you like in here. But we're taking a look at the 4. There is Blurred Line coming off that nose victory last time out, and the equipment change off the win for Danny Gargan.
Weird, and I won't say you never see it, but it's very rare that you see equipment changes off of a victory, especially a win like this. I mean, he was definitely tried down the lane. He showed a lot of heart, a lot of resilience. I thought visually it was a good-looking race for him too. So there was nothing to knock about this, but since then we haven't seen him. This was in the beginning of May, and since then there has been equipment change. I just thought those were 2 interesting moves.
And definitely he's going to have to do it. He's going to have to move forward to win this race, no doubt.
Mm-hmm. For sure. I thought, there's definitely question marks with other horses, whether or not they'll handle the surface change or whether or not certain horses are fit first or second off of the layoff. At least he's kind of got recency and at least he's in form. So I think that's why people are kind of attracted to a horse like this.
Get signed up, started. You can play the 7th race and everything that we bring you each and every day here on Belmont Park Live. And when we head up to Saratoga as well, by going to NYRABets.com, we have a $200 new member sign-up bonus. Use the promo code LIVE and get involved in the fun. Bet any track, anytime, anywhere with NYRABets. So our post-parade here coming up momentarily. And with the exception of really a couple of horses, the 1 and the 3 double digits, everybody else being given a look here on the tote board.
Yes, and you know, I did think that it was a wide open race. Obviously, there are some question marks with surface changes and whatnot. Maggie was alluding to both the 6 Phone Funky Monkey and Gotham Storm. These two horses just really caught my eye because I thought that they could make vast improvements second off the bench.
Yeah, Phone Funky Monkey for David Donk. We've said his name quite a bit over the last couple of weeks, but definitely you think improvement we'd see off that second start here of his 3-year-old campaign. Broke his maiden just his second time out on the turf. That was at Saratoga last summer. And I actually liked that race from him last start. Here's our call to post. And we start off with a long shot here. Saratoga, Colonel Luis Saez rides for George Weaver.
First off of the layoff, he found the winner's circle against maiden $40,000 type. Takes a step up in class, but a good-looking win last time out.
We have a couple of horses trying the turf for the first time, and here's one of them. Honor Up. And Junior Alvarado rides.
Actually ran in the Grade 3 Lexington earlier this year. He's by 2 Honor and Serve out of a Yes It's True mare, hoping to improve on the turf.
Another first-timer here on the grass, Carthon, son of Tapazar for Gary Siaka.
This is another interesting one, and I thought that if he does translate that form to turf, he could be the speed in here.
Blurred Line. We showed you that maiden score last start. The blinkers go on today, and Irad Ortiz Jr. on board.
A game win last time out. The blinkers go on today, as you mentioned, Greg, and it's showing that he is on his toes as he's walking out to the track.
Ides of Arch for Leah Giaramatti. Rajiv Mirage aboard for the 4-year-old debut.
He's arguably the class of the race. We just have not seen him since last November, so that's the big question.
And here's Phone Funky Monkey for David Donk, son of Datalink. Manny Franco aboard.
He's making his second start off of that layoff and did show promise as a 2-year-old. He's hoping to take a step forward today.
And here's the son of City Zip to round out the field, trained by George Weaver. The blinkers come off this afternoon. Gotham Storm.
I'd imagine hoping to get him to settle a bit more because he was quite keen off of the layoff last time out.
Broke his maiden, his second start of his career, and he did it here at Belmont. So this will, as Gabby mentioned, said be his second start back of his 3-year-old campaign. We're going to take a break. We're 5 minutes away here. Second leg of the late pick 4. And it is Gotham Storm, the 7-horse in your screen, who's the current 5-2 favorite or co-5-2 favorite. We'll be back with more Belmont Park Live right after this.
This successful son of AP Indy has sired 6 millionaires, including 2017 Eclipse champion 3-year-old West Coast. A dominant winner of the Grade 1 Travers and Pennsylvania Derby, West Coast also placed in the Breeders' Cup Classic and was runner-up in the $16 million Pegasus World Cup. In the sales ring, juveniles by Flatter brought up to $600,000, and his yearlings sold up to $460,000. Flatter, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Welcome back to Belmont Park Live, getting a beautiful view of the New York City skyline and North Shore Towers, I believe there, but you're also getting view here of race number 7, and I'm joined by trainer Danny Gargan, who will send out number 4 in here, Blurred Lines. And Danny, a shrewd claim by you down at Gulfstream Park, picking this guy up for $50,000 as a New York bred.
Well, that's why we took him, because he had the New York bred conditions and the big purses, big money here in New York. And the day I claimed him, he ran really well. I thought the winner would win the race that day, and I figured we'd still have the maiden. And the numbers he ran justified him being, you know, a New York allowance horse. So we're hoping he moves forward again today.
Now, last time out, you just got the nod in that New York bred maiden special weight. You opt to put just a shortcut blinker on. Is that because you felt as though he hung on that horse?
Well, yeah, Kendrick rides a lot for me, and that's what Kendrick said. We had a lot of horse, but he wouldn't go by the other horse. And actually, another horse came on and pushed him to the winner's circle a little. So that's why we opted to the blinkers, because he was kind of laying on the other horse late. He's a big, big horse, and he's a real sweet, gentle horse, but he likes his company. Like, he likes the pony, he likes stuff to hang around with. So hopefully today he sharpens up a little bit more and more aggressive.
And looking for your second win with owner Morris Bailey on today's card.
Yeah, Mr. Bailey's a wonderful person to train for, and I really appreciate being the person that gets to train for him, because he's such a nice man.
And he's here today. Danny, best of luck.
He's here, so he's lucky when he's here. So let's hope it stays that way.
All right, Danny, forward to seeing you maybe in the winner's circle here, Greg.
So we'll see maybe a little more focus, a little more finish from Blurred Line with those blinkers on today.
Yeah. I saw a lot of focus and finish with him last time out, too. But, you know, whatever. He definitely, I think he is the horse to beat off of that last race, considering he has the recency. If we had seen maybe a race recently from Ides of Arch, I would say maybe he was the horse to beat, which is funny, considering that he's 7-1 right now.
Oh, meanwhile, here is Gotham Storm, 3-1 right now, and Jose Ortiz back on board for George Weaver.
And George Weaver has poor numbers first off of the layoff on the turf. So my thinking is that he definitely needed his last race as a tightener, and he's only going to move forward today. If he does that, that would put him in the winner's circle. On top of that, I like the equipment change, because he was very aggressive and keen last time out, if you go back and watch the replay. So maybe that'll just give him the opportunity to settle, like the fact that Jose's back aboard now that he has experience with this horse.
There's a great view of where they line up on this configuration here in the inner turf for mile and a 16th, right up against that track. That turn comes right away as we look at Phone Funky Monkey. Second off the layoff for David Donk.
Very flat last time out. He's going to have to improve. There's no doubt about it. But he showed too much hope, I think, as a 2-year-old to completely disregard him after one race.
It's still lightly raced. This will just be the 4th start of his career. We're all set. Here's race 7. Let's go to Larry Colmus for the call.
Ready for the start. Phone Funky Monkey, restless. They're off. Carthon sent out of there in company with Saratoga, Colonel, and Honor Up. These three out with Blurred Line away running in 4th. And then it's Ides of Arch, Phone Funky Monkey. And the trailer early on is Gotham Storm. Saratoga, Colonel up top, 3/4 of a length ahead of Carthon. Running in 2nd is Blurred Line. Goes up on the outside, and Honor Up will sit back and be 4th early on, but just in behind the leaders, less than 2 lengths from the front. Another 2 lengths to Ides of Arch, Phone Funky Monkey. And at the back is Gotham Storm. Up the backstretch. And up top here, it is Saratoga Colonel, the leader by 3/4 of a length. Carthon running in 2nd. Blurred Line is 3rd to the outside. Honor Up checks them 4th. And racing at the hedge, just 2 lengths from the front. Then it's Phone Funky Monkey on the outside of Ides of Arch, who's got 5 lengths to make up. And the trailer is Gotham Storm as they continue up the backstretch and move for the far turn. 45.66 was the half for Saratoga Colonel, who leads the way a half a length. On the far turn, Carthon runs along in 2nd. Blurred Line 3rd to the outside of them. Honor Up continues to save the ground and rides the hedge 2 lengths from the front. Then it's Phone Funky Monkey, Ides of Arch, and Gotham Storm. Saratoga Colonel turning for home with a neck lead here. Carthon, Blurred Line swings up on the outside. Honor Up behind a wall of horses, 4th, and down toward the hedge with a furlong to run. Saratoga Colonel still there. Honor Up has found running room, and now we'll switch to the outside and try to run down Saratoga Colonel. And here's Honor Up to the outside. Honor Up and Saratoga Colonel. Honor Up and Junior Alvarado getting up to score. Saratoga Colonel was 2nd, Ides of Arch was 3rd, and Carthon was 4th in 1:38.40, the posted final time.
Wow, that's just 2 ticks off the course record here for Honor Up, who just gets up against by Saratoga Colonel. Luis Zayas very crafty here to try and use the speed to his advantage on the inside.
Oh, for sure. And this was a perfect trip. You can see him just raiding behind the speed on the hedge. He got angled out in a perfect time. They went... do you think that this time is a little bit believable?
I do not.
Okay. Thank you for agreeing with me. But, you know, I didn't have a lot of confidence in this horse with the surface change, but this really does open the door in terms of races coming forward in the summer. He can run turf, dirt, wherever he needs to.
Belmont, obviously, not training this week. He's on suspension, so his assistant, Leona Williford, stepping in for him in his absence. And Honor Up getting the job done first time on the turf. And wins here at 7-2. That's a tough beat for Saratoga Colonel. Her ran too good to lose, but Honor Up taken to the grass.
I thought Saratoga Colonel actually ran really, really well for trainer George Weaver, and both excellent rides there. Honor Up, though, you know, these were the 2 horses that really, they started to continue the gap from the rest of the field. I mean, these 2 blew the rest of the field out of the water.
So Honor Up gets the job done. Junior Alvarado aboard for the victory. 2-1, 5-3 finish. And another favorite defeated in the pick 4. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Elate back for more. We're going to see her in action coming up this weekend. We'll talk about that when we return on Belmont Park Live.
They're off in New York, the premier state bred program in the United States. When you own a New York bred, your horse can run for more than $44 million in purses, restricted to registered New York breds. And the New York program pays awards to breeders, owners, and stallion owners when their New York breds finish first, second, or third at New York tracks. We have the quality. Audible, no doubt about it. You have the opportunity. New York breds, get with the program, the best program.
Back on Belmont Park Live, Honor Up. First time on the turf and right into the winner's circle for this 3-year-old son of To Honor and Serve.
An impressive victory there and a great ride by Junior Alvarado, just saving ground the entire way, but was well clear along with the #1 Saratoga Colonel from the rest of the others. Congratulations to Honor Up by To Honor and Serve out of unobstructed the Yes It's True mare.
Let's take a look at the Naira Bets Late Pick 5 follow along. We had Rachel's Blue Moon. That's been the hardest one to come up with, and that's the one Gabby gave out.
And I'm out in the pick 4. But
tough so far because you make some tough choices here early on.
Good prices though, very, very good prices. And I think it's only going to get harder as we continue.
2 legs left to go, and that's a long way still ahead of us. But it's proven to be the best bet in racing with these phenomenal payoffs. The Naira Bets Late Pick 5, the only way to get involved if you do not reside in the state of New York is by playing through NYRA Bets. You can do that nationwide, of course, on Saturdays at the meet here. $100,000 minimum single winning ticket payout. And when we get to Saratoga, we're going to see that on a daily basis coming up. So we look forward to that ahead. We have some big races coming up over the weekend from not just here at Belmont, but from out at Delaware that we're going to be covering as well. Of course, Elate we'll be talking about in a moment, but in the Kent, take a look at the field here. 1 1/8 for 3-year-olds here over the turf. And Carrick for Tom Morley, undefeated, lightly race 2 for 2. Taking a step up in class.
This race always comes up very interesting year after year, and I think it's the same case this year. We're taking a look at Carrick with his most recent victory. It's funny that he debuted for the maiden $40,000 tag, took advantage of the starter allowance condition, and really built some confidence underneath of him. I love to see that moving forward, and now it's time to tackle Graded Stakes Company, but at least he has that momentum behind him. He's a cool horse to have. He's got tactical speed. He surely has talent. This is a big step up for him, but he looks like he's headed in the right direction.
9-2 on the morning line. Blame the rider going to be making the trip out for the Doug O'Neill barn. Already a stakes winner on the turf. He won the Singletary at Santa Anita. A couple starts back and comes off a second in the Rainbow last start.
And he was in this race part of a pretty fast pace up top going the mile. They ultimately gave him a bit more distance, maybe a touch too far at 9 furlongs on the turf. But he's speedy. He could be the main speed this coming Saturday. The thing is about kind of West Coast turf horses shipping out east, sometimes I feel that they're at a little bit of a disadvantage.
We're going to have the look forward to that coming up, and we're going to have Elate back in action as well in the Delaware Handicap. Elate, last time that we saw her, 4th in the Breeders' Cup Distaff, and prior to that, right here at Belmont Park, dominant performance on an off-track in the Grade 1 Beldame.
Unfortunately, she has been sidelined since the Breeders' Cup Distaff with a splint bone issue over the winter, but seems like Belmont is very confident in this filly's ability coming in off of the shelf. And Greg, she was one that, you know, in hindsight, in her 3-year-old campaign, we knew that she was going to continue to get better, and she did that throughout the year. So you'd have to think that from a starting point, she's going to continue to get better in her 4-year-old season. She's got a lot of class and a lot of talent. I'm so excited to see her back on Saturday.
It was great to see her progression, which we kind of witnessed firsthand at Saratoga in that incredible performance in the Coaching Club American Oaks, that duel with Abel Tasman when she almost went into the fence, and then she came back, she won the Alabama. Meanwhile, she's going to be taking on Unbridled Mo, 7 for 11 in her career. 5-year-old Uncle Mo mare now is coming off a 3rd in the Ogden Phipps.
And this is her victory in the Apple Blossom on that good sealed track out at Oakland Park. And I like this victory. I still think that she still has a lot to prove, especially against the likes of Elate. But what could she do last time out? Abel Tasman put in one of the most incredible performances that we've seen from her thus far this year. So we'll see what Unbridled Mo can do. If Elate isn't ready off the shelf, she's the most likely winner.
She would love some rain, wouldn't she?
Sure, she's 2 for 2, but she's also 5 for 9 on a fast track.
Proven on any kind of track, actually. So we're looking forward to that. We're going to have some bonus coverage for you this weekend. Will be tremendous, so you do not want to miss Saturday's show here on Belmont Park Live. Be sure and join us. We're going to take a quick break. We will be back. Our feature race is coming up next. Wrapped back in action, taking a big drop in class. Manny Franco looking for his 4th winner on today's card. Not the favorite right now. He's 4-1. We'll be back. Stay with us.
His record-breaking accomplishments on the racetrack paved his way here to the Stall of Legends. Now retired to stud, we welcome the dawning of a new era as this esteemed champion hopes to stake his claim to immortality. His blazing speed and striking good looks have been passed down to his remarkable first foals. Foals that will carry the flag of their famous father and one day hope to break records of their own. Medication-free and undefeated in sprint competition. Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Make NYRA Bets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With NYRA Bets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NYRABets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. NYRABets, racing's best play.
You're watching Belmont Park Live on MSG Plus. Great to be with you on this Wednesday afternoon. Our feature race coming up in just 17 minutes. It will be a mile and 16th over the turf. And that is a look at the horse who was the morning line favorite, Wrapped, coming out of Stakes Company last time out. Ran second, beat by a very nice horse in Offering Plan. Tackling Easier Company today, but right now a little chilly on the board at 4-1 in here. Manny Franco will ride. He's looking for his fourth winner this afternoon. Greg Wolf alongside Gabby Gaudette as we get set for this 8th race coming up. What was your take on Wrapped?
I thought he was vulnerable, so I'm not surprised to see him a little chilly on the tote board right now. A lot has to go his way in order for him to win, as he is that closer from off of the pace, needs to get the pace today. He always runs the same race, whether it's against Stakes Company or Claimers.
We'll see if he can break through this afternoon. And there's a good look at him, son of Hat Trick. And there's a couple of speedsters outside that could set up a nice pace for him to try and run down. Harlan's Hunch the 7, Dr. Edgar the 8, both like to go out front early.
Yes, I do think that Harlan's Hunch might be a touch faster than the 8, Dr. Edgar. And we always see Danny Gargan, the trainer of the 7, Harlan's Hunch. He loves to employ speed, so I could foresee maybe that being the situation. It worked for him last time.
Yeah, here is that performance. This was in a 50,000 starter allowance, and he was all by himself. But he got early fractions pretty easy, but then he kind of sped things up. He ran a big effort here.
He did. And sometimes we see that speed horses, they just get so much confidence when they're on the lead. I loved this ride by Kendrick Carmouche. When you go into the race with a plan, you kind of blow out the rest of the field, and it really does boost a horse's confidence. Will he be able to do that today? Kendrick's not aboard him as he was last time. Irad picks up the mount. So we'll see. A lot of questions, but he does look like the controlling speed.
There he is. He's the 7 horse this afternoon, and not bad to get the meet's leading rider as a replacement taken over, coming off a win last time. That was his first win, though, as impressive as it was in 10 starts on the turf here at Belmont.
And that was his best race by far in his career. Prior to that, he wasn't really running anything near that in terms of a speed figure type of perspective. So you almost wonder if that took anything out of him, if he can replicate that again.
Meanwhile, Gucci Factor coming off probably his best performance of his career as well. And it was here at Belmont, but it was against Easier Company.
I fear him, though, Greg. I do think that he's a horse that's continuing to get better. He could, quote, be the now horse, because this was a very impressive race. You can see that several horses in front of him set the pace, but the pace held together. He had to take the overland route. He went wide. He was grinding coming down the stretch. He did all of the work in order to win this race, and I thought that that was a really good race underneath of his belt to move forward. So if you're trying to think, well, who's got the class, who's got the potential to move forward, I think that's what you get with Gucci Factor.
He was favored in that start. This is a lot more difficult field. Does that concern you at all?
Yeah, it's open allowance company, a first level allowance company. He's gone through his New York bred conditions, so it makes sense. I don't know. I guess you could argue that It's definitely a step up in class. There's no doubt about it. But there are a lot of question marks with some of the others.
Time for a Paddock report. So we're going to check back in with Maggie Wolfendale. Let's send it downstairs. It's brought to you by Hillendale Farm, now standing Curlin for $150,000.
Guys, a trio of horses coming back in off layoffs. We'll begin with number 4. That is Morocco for the White Hot. Leanna Williford deputizing for Belmont right now. And the horses have been running great for the barn, though Morocco, I think, is a bit compromised due to the fact that his best race, which was when he broke his maiden, he got to set a glacial pace down at Kentucky Downs, which, as you know, is a very unique race course, pretty much in an open field. So he's going to have to deal with plenty of other speed from Dr. Egger and mainly Harlan Tuncheon here. But I can say that coming off the layoff, he looks fantastic here. He's very fit. He's very well defined. His coat looks rich and hydrated. And he's just painting a nice picture here in the paddock. Next, we'll move on to the one coming off a year-plus layoff in number 5, 3 Perfections, as Jimmy Jerkins also looks to get his second win here on the card. And 3 Perfections, a horse that in the past has really had the propensity to get really keyed up before his races. Coming back off the layoff, he has not churned a hair wrong. He's usually obstreperous to get the tack on. He really hasn't even batted an eyelash. So does that mean that he isn't quite keyed up for this return? Maybe. Or it also could mean that he's just that much more mentally mature. Though I think given the length of this layoff and given what he looks like here, a race might be just beneficial to him to kind of shake that ring rust off and just really get much more in kind of racehorse fitness mode, as he just looks slightly soft around the edges. Moving on to number 8, Dr. Edgar for Barkley Tag, taking over training for this son of Looking at Lucky. And coming off the layoff, this is by far the most fit I've ever seen this horse look. I think he looks fantastic here, making his 5-year-old debut. And I know, Gabby, you like this runner. So he's looking in fine fettle coming off the bench.
Well, that's good news, right, for your top selection here at 10-1?
Yeah. And I love the encouragement that we get from Maggie, too. That was my concern about coming back a little bit off the shelf and for the new barn and Barkley Tag. But if he looks ready to roll, then I'm ready to roll. And
I heard you say this earlier. You're on the Talking Horses here on the simulcast. Obviously, you see his last couple of starts. He wants to be in front, but he doesn't have to have the lead, right, to win?
No, I don't think so. I mean, even if you look at some of his races, I know we're dating back a ways to 2016, but when he actually got through the non-winners of 2 lifetime condition, he closed from off of the pace. So he's effective on the lead, off the lead, stalking, so he's definitely versatile.
Take a look at the jockey standings. We had Dave Grenning on. Looking ahead to Saratoga, he said those 2 guys at the top, they're going to be just as difficult again when we get to Saratoga as they are each and every year. And right now it's Irad Ortiz Jr. He gave the nod to at Saratoga coming up. And right now he's on top of the leaderboard here at Belmont Park. Irad Ortiz Jr. leading the way with 56 wins. Manny Franco making a little move here with his 3 wins today, getting up to 42 for the meet. We're going to take a break in the action. We'll be back while the post parade. When we come back, there's Manny Franco. Can he get a 4th on Wrapped? He'll do his best. We'll be back. Stay with us.
Make Naira Bets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With Naira Bets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NairaBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. Get a $200 new member sign-up bonus on NairaBets.com.
Mastery retired undefeated, winning his 4 starts by a combined 20 lengths. A 6-figure September sale purchase, he won impressively in his 2-year-old debut at Santa Anita. From there, he captured the Grade 3 Bob Hope Stakes and completed his juvenile campaign with a dominant performance in the Grade 1 Los Alamitos Futurity. At 3, the top-rated son of Candy Ride sizzled in the San Felipe, running a 105 buyer and winning by open lengths. Mastery, new for 2018 at Claiborne Farm.
Back on Belmont Park Live, Greg Wolf, Gabby Gaudette, and Maggie Wolfendale with you as we have the 8th race here coming up. This is our favorite right now. Gucci Factor, 5-2 on the board.
I'm not surprised considering his last race, and man, has the Christophe Clement barn been firing on all cylinders lately. He started the meet off a little bit chilly, but has picked things up dramatically towards the latter half of the meet.
Get signed up, play along, bet all the races we show you here on Belmont Park Live, and when we head to Saratoga each and every day of the meet as well. $200 new member sign-up bonus going on now. Use the promo code LIVE to take advantage. Bet any track, anytime, anywhere. Go to NYRABets.com to get involved. There is Harlan's Hunch for Danny Gargan. 6-length gate-to-wire score. The 7-horse moving by, and you do believe he's quicker than this 8-horse, right?
I do. I think that they have to go with him, just considering how it worked out for him last time out. Why try to fix something that isn't broke?
Post-parade, and we start with Rapp. Drops in class. He comes out of a stakes race. He's been facing a lot tougher company. But again, he needs some help to get to the wire.
He is the class of the race, but he does seem to run the same race time and time again. Good rail post position for him, though, today.
Coolin Rock, improving 4-year-old here for Barkley Tag.
Could improve with added distance. I think the mile was just a little bit too short for him last time out, but was rolling late.
Here is Gucci Factor for that red-hot Clement barn. Joel Rosario aboard.
On his toes, looks great, heading out to the track, coming fresh off of that win.
2-1 favorite for the son of Gio Ponte. Morocco taking the blinkers off today. Jose Lizcano rides.
And an interesting one. I do think that he'll have to improve in order to win, but the Leanna Williford barn has been hot.
3 perfections. We've not seen this one since July of 2017 for Jimmy Jerkins.
Jimmy Jerkins hoping to get multiple wins on the day. Right now, 3 perfections at an enticing 10-1.
Here's the 7. 6 was the scratch. Harlan's Hunch, the speedster for Danny Gargan. Irad Ortiz Jr. in the irons.
I think he might be the speed of the speed. He did it last time out, going to wire to wire.
And Dr. Edgar outside. He went gate to wire last time as well, and he loves the turf at Belmont.
And he gets added distance from the mile where he was on the lead. He is the only horse that I could see maybe keeping the 7 honest on the front end.
So 9-1 on Dr. Edgar outside. Back to the favorite. Here's Gucci Factor. Wasn't impressive. We showed you that turf performance last time out. It was here at Belmont. It was on the inner turf, and a nice win as the favorite to get through that condition.
And it's not like it came out of nowhere, Greg. Even if you go back to Aqueduct last year, early December, when he was facing Allowance Company, he won. He's 2 for 3 on the turf. So clearly this is his surface, and I think he's one that's just improving.
With more on the son of Gio Ponte, let's go to Maggie Wolfendale.
And yes, we did see Gucci Factor win just about 2 weeks ago for trainer Christophe Clement. And when I had talked to him that day and just kind of reconfirming it here, he said that Gucci Factor would not be making the trip up to Saratoga for the simple fact that this horse just really, really gets undone by a lot of activity and a lot of loud noise. And that is exactly what Saratoga is. And Christophe said to me, in his years of training, that Gucci Factor is probably one of the worst horses he's ever saddled up there. So trying to put it in his words, squeeze the lemon dry before he does get a little bit of a spell, some time off during the Saratoga meet. And I will say that he actually didn't get that washy today, which is a good thing for Gucci Factor, but still his energy level was where you wanted to see it. He still had that bright demeanor to him, so indicating to me that he's not really being negatively affected by that kind of somewhat short span between races. Checking in also with number 7, Harlan's Hunch. This is a horse that I feel as though Danny Gargan has really tapped into and really figured out, coming off the back of that huge blowout score. Now, Kendrick Carmen's not aboard here today. We go to Irad Ortiz for this runner, and he's one that in the past, or I should say in past years, has gotten very, very wound up and has been really tough to handle. But now he's really kind of taking his racing in stride, and I think that's a good thing. I think it's an indicator that this horse is doing very well. He looks a picture in the paddock and out on the racetrack. So I think Harlan's Hunch is definitely the fastest horse in here, and he will try to do what he does best, and that is just run them off their feet here, Greg.
That appears to be the game plan. She mentioned Jairad Ortiz has been aboard and won aboard this horse before. In fact, he did when this horse added blinkers for the first time. That was November of last year.
Under the Steve Asmussen barn at that time, but at least he has experience on this horse. And yeah, you almost wonder, since it was his best race on form last time out, if he can duplicate it, if it's going to have any bit of an impact on him here today. But it was funny, Danny Gargan kind of mentioned that maybe Morris Bailey, the owner of the horse that ran in the last race, was good luck, as he always is when he's on track. It didn't work out in the last race. Maybe it'll work out in this one.
And we'll see. 5-2 right now. As we look back at Wrapped, and I don't know what to do. I actually thought the mile was probably a little too short for him. I think he improved second off the bench. Now he gets a little more ground. But if you like this horse, are you scared that he's a little cool on the board?
I don't know how I feel about it. I really don't. I think he's surely in a position to improve at a mile and a 16th. I'm also concerned if maybe a mile and a 16th. I know he's won at the distance before, but he kind of started getting longer distances, and I thought he ran decent races at a mile and a quarter, mile 3/8. He just needs so much to go his way at a mile and a 16th when it looks like the main speed is Harlan's Hunch. But he is the class. There's no doubt about it.
We all think the 7 is going to get to the front.
Except you.
I do. No, I do too. I think he's quicker than the 8, but you just never know. I mean, Dr. Edgar, his best way of going is on the front end as well. I do think the 7's quicker, though. But he does love this turf course. And just the fact that he's fresh and he's been on the bench concerns me a little.
That he will show speed, and potentially go with the 7. Could be. It could be. The thing with it depends on how Irad rides Harlan's Hunch, because I thought that they had a deliberate move last time out to create a lot of separation from Harlan's Hunch and the rest of the field to kind of boost that confidence. If that's not the same, if they're kind of milking along on the front end by a length, half length, then yes, I could for sure see Dr. Edgar keeping the pace honest up front. But that's why I liked him, because he does have versatility. He doesn't have to go with a horse like Harlan's Hunch.
Meanwhile, Coolin Rock for Barkley Tag. He faced a horse. I didn't love that race last time out. Embry, who beat him, had been 0 for 11 on the turf when he faced him that start.
It wasn't a tough field by any means. Embry, Lunaire, the JY. I feel like we've seen these horses over and over and over again. That said, he has consistently been facing open allowance company, whereas some of these other horses are coming out of New York bred races. So there's that in terms of the class. And he has no part at being a mile. I think a mile and a 16th would definitely help him. But he too is pace dependent. So if you're hoping to find a closer in here, do you prefer Wrapped, who's coming out of Stakes Company, or do you prefer Coolin Rock?
Well, the horse on the come, who's improving in the 2, or the horse who's shown better ability and faced better company, but now dropping back down again in class in the 1 round. I go to the 1 Wrapped. 7-2 right now, but that's not a real positive sign that he's not taking more attention.
And I think it's a very positive sign, the amount of action that the 3 Gucci Factor's taken. I believe he's favored in the pick 3s. So, I think that definitely speaks to maybe a performance that we will see today.
Yeah, he is. And then actually Harlan's Hunch, the 7, actually the second choice in the pick 3s. We're set. Let's send it upstairs. It's our feature race. Here's the voice of New York Racing for the call, Larry Colmus.
They're all in line. They're off. Dr. Edgar out sharply. And out for the lead with Harlan's Hunch. The 2 of them battle it out early on, 2.5 lengths ahead of 3 Perfections. Gucci Factor sits back in 4th as the top 2 move right along up front. Gucci Factor's already 7 lengths off the lead. And then it's Coolin Rock inside of Morocco. They're 9 behind, and Wrapped is 11 lengths from the front. So on to the backstretch they go, and 2 of them winging out in front of the others. Harlan's Hunch now a length in front of Dr. Edgar, who's got 6 lengths on 3 Perfections. That first quarter, 22.67 seconds. Gucci Factor follows in 4th up the backstretch, now 10 lengths from these leaders. And then it's Coolin Rock. Morocco to the outside, and an unhurried Wrapped is now 15 behind. And they make their way for the far turn. It is Harlan's Hunch a length in front of Dr. Edgar, and they've got 8 lengths on the others. 44.59 was the half mile. These two have been just winging along up front. 3 Perfections next by another 6. Gucci Factor still about 13 lengths off the lead around the turn. And then it's Morocco, Coolin' Rock, and Wrapped. All these with that fast pace in front of them, set by 2 runners here, Harlan's Hunch and Dr. Edgar, who will turn for home 1-2. Dr. Edgar goes by to take the lead at the top of the stretch. Harlan's Hunch is thrown in the towel in second, but the others are coming. 3 Perfections got 3 lengths, and now Gucci Factor. Here comes Gucci Factor on the scene, second, and looking to run down Dr. Edgar in the final 16th. And then it's Wrapped on the outside of 3 Perfections. Gucci Factor still hasn't got to Dr. Edgar. It's going to be close. Gucci Factor did get there in time. Dr. Edgar was second, Wrapped was third, a photo for fourth between Coolin' Rock and 3 Perfections. The final time was up there in 1 minute 38.87 seconds.
1:38 and 4. 2 ticks off the track record. Yeah, that is very firm turf course.
Deja vu all over again.
Gucci Factor just up in time. This horse just loves the grass. 3 wins from 4 starts now. Gets the job done in a strange run race. We thought the 7 and 8 would be out there early. They created a ton of separation.
Okay, I am not taking anything away from Gucci Factor's victory because this was impressive. He was really the only closer that was making up any bit of a ground. But you have to give credit to Dr. Edgar. He was part of that brutally fast pace. We saw Harlan's Hunch completely spit the bit coming down the stretch, and he almost hung in to pull off the whole race. I thought it was incredible performance, even in defeat by Dr. Edgar, but also hats off to the winner.
I believe Harlan's Hunch wound up finishing last in here. That's how hot that pace was up front. And yeah, Dr. Edgar's still around in the end to finish second in here. So it was a monster effort and insanely fast fractions up top as you look at the winning trainer. Christophe Clement giving the good news, I would assume, to Castleton Lions.
Someone, yeah. He looks very happy, as he should. He has really been heating up in the second half of the meet and hopefully continues that momentum upstate to Saratoga.
About to enter your picture right about now. There he is, Gucci Factor. Son of Gio Ponte poking his head in front and getting the job done. And doing so as the 2-to-1 post-time favorite. Here in the 8th, Christophe Clement, well done. Another victory for the Red Hot Barn. Heating up at the right time, heading to Saratoga. We'll be back with prices next.
Bayern turning for home in front. Coast of New York on the outside. California Chrome is third. Shared Belief laboring back there in fifth. 1 furlong to run. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome on the outside. The 3 of them come to the wire. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome. Here's the finish. Bayern, Bayern holds on.
The sun is shining here at Belmont Park, and we are smiling here in the winner's circle as Gucci Factor gets the win here in race number 8 with Christophe Clement, and 2 wins in a row for this guy. As you said, you are striking when the iron is hot.
And absolutely, he likes Belmont. He won very well like 2 weeks ago. And, you know, Saratoga can be tough, especially on him mentally. So that race came up, and I just thought it was a good spot. And for once, we got it right.
And Christophe, your barn is really heating up with all of your runners. Is that something you kind of strategically do, is try to get some wins here when maybe other people are saving their horses for Saratoga?
And it's just because we're very slow to get going in May. We're slow learner, and just finally the horses come around. And it's nice when they're all running well. And fortunately, because I'm running a lot of horses now, we probably will be a bit slow early on in the meet in Saratoga. But, you know, if we can win, win.
Excellent. Well, job well done here with Gucci Factor. I know he's having the summer off, but best of luck upstate as well.
Thank you so much. We'll try.
All right, Greg.
I would bet on Christophe Clement being in the winner's circle quite a few times at Saratoga.
Yeah, for sure. He and I do think that there's truth to having momentum, whether you're a trainer, a jockey, whatever. Saratoga takes a toll on you mentally, whether you're a trainer, jockey, handicapper, whatever. So to have this boost going into the meet is very important.
Yeah, absolutely. It can create a domino effect in a good way. And Gucci Factor on a roll. This horse now 3 for 4 on the turf. He's won 2 in a row, both on the grass. For Castleton Lions, Joe El Rosario, his second winner on today's card. And again, in defeat, great effort from Dr. Edgar.
I totally agree with you. And as we see the pick 5 follow along, well, we had a nice price winner in the 6th, and overall, decent prices throughout.
And our first favorite, by the way, in the sequence. But, you know, it was a difficult race to try and sigil that one out. I mean, obviously, the horse figured big time, but there were a lot of other ways to go in that race. So 1 leg left to go in this Naira Bets late pick 5, and it's a New York bred $40,000 maiden claiming race, 6 furlongs on the main track. We're going to talk about that, set it up when we come back from a short timeout. More Belmont Park Live on the way, and a great way to spend a day before you head to the races up at Saratoga with legendary track announcer Tom Durkin. We'll have that story when we come back.
Kentucky Derby winner Orb has emerged as one of the nation's most promising young stallions. The leading freshman sale sire of weanlings, yearlings, and 2-year-olds, his first runners are off to a fast start. His debut winners have dazzled on the track, scoring on both dirt and turf. In the sales rep, his yearlings continue to command top prices, including the $1 million co-sale topper at Saratoga. Outstanding value, outstanding results, or standing at Claiborne Farm.
After I retired,
Well, Saratoga is right around the corner. If you have not made this trip, I did it last summer, you must make time for the National Museum of Racing and Hall of Fame. It is an incredible experience to learn more about this game. So many fun things to do, a good amount of time, because there's a lot to see in there. and a lot to take in right across the street from Saratoga Racetrack. You definitely want to allot some time for that. Opening day right around the corner on Friday, July 20th. And single day tickets for Saratoga, they're on sale now. Reserve your seat in the Grandstand or Clubhouse for Saratoga's biggest events, or be one of the first to sit in the all-new exclusive area, the Stretch, located in the Grandstand at the top of the stretch. Make Saratoga Racecourse your summer place. Get your seats at nowrate.com/Saratoga. Well, Tom Durkin, his voice synonymous, some of the great moments in the history of New York racing, and of course the Triple Crown. He's also one of the great storytellers that you will ever come across. What a great combination. Tom Durkin and the National Museum of Racing Hall of Fame.
After I retired, I was looking for stuff to do, frankly, and I always thought I'd like to be a tour guide in Italy, because I used to live over there and I used to follow around the tour guides going all around Florence, and I learned the history and the culture of history and culture of Florence and Italy in particular. So I wanted to be a tour guide. That's what I thought I was going to do, and then I thought, well, why not be a tour guide down the street from where you live in the museum? So I asked the folks here, and they said, yeah, it's a good idea, let's do it. And this is Nashua, the great star 3-year-old of 1955. He kind of shared that title with his big rival, who was Swaps. I love telling the story of the father of the turf, Sir Tregonwell Frampton, mostly because I think I just like saying the guy's name, Tregonwell Frampton. This portrait is so far and away, by far and away, the most flattering. This was not an attractive man. And so Bunbury, luckily for us, does not name the filly race after himself, but he named it after his farm, which is called the Oaks. So that's why we have the Kentucky Oaks and the Coaching Club American Oaks and what have you. Well, they decided to make a movie out of it in time, and Jimmy Cagney plays the role of Todd Sloan. And the name of the movie was Yankee Doodle Dandy. He was a rough character. Early on in particular, he was actually found guilty of assault and armed robbery. So in 1863, he gets a bunch of horses together, and he uses the harness track that's over here where Oklahoma is. Vestiges of that still remain. And the meeting's a huge success. So he wants to buy up all the property across the street for 1864 to open up his own racetrack. And he does. 15 winners of the Travers Stakes were sired by Lexington. But he was a great racehorse as well as a sire. That's why he's the reason they invented the stopwatch. One of the aspects I enjoy about it most is that I actually get to talk and interact with people, which was something I could not do. Calling races for 43 years, I just had to be up in that booth, and frankly, I didn't want to be up there because they were a distraction to the job I had to do. And I'm a social person, and it's just really nice to be able to socialize and have contact with horse racing fans. It's great. Where are you from?
Vegas.
Oh my God, Vegas. Goodness gracious. You've come to the place that was Vegas before Vegas. So if you guys want pictures, everybody, it seems, is adept at taking pictures with their iPhones. So if you want to come together as a group, or two of you are together, you can just hand it off to someone else. Oh no, I got a strict rule. My arms around the girls. Get Secretariat in here. Don't forget him. Thanks for helping the museum out, and good luck at the track. All right.
If you're going to do that tour, I mean, you got to do it with Tom Durkin. There is no better tour guide to take that tour with. And again, it's a must on the must-do list if you're making a trip out there this summer. So much great history to be seen, and no one better. I mean, just his own personal stories.
Oh, absolutely. And it's for lack of a better word, it's a magical experience just to be able to go and learn of all the history of racing and Saratoga, and then to take that and go to the races and to the backstretch. It's just a magical experience in general.
And again, yeah, right across the street from the racetrack. That's what we love about Saratoga. Everything's right there. Opening day, July 20th. Again, get your tickets now. They're on sale as we speak. We're going to take a break. We still have the nightcap to come. Here's our favorite in our finale tonight, Leap to Glory, dropping in for a claiming tag for the very first time. Will that equal a trip to the winner's circle and start number 7? We'll talk more about it when we come back on Belmont Park Live.
His record-breaking accomplishments on the racetrack paved his way here to the Stall of Legends. Now retired to stud, we welcome the dawning of a new era as this esteemed champion hopes to stake his claim to immortality. His blazing speed and striking good looks have been passed down to his remarkable first foals. Foals that will carry the flag of their famous father and one day hope to break records of their own. Medication-free and undefeated in sprint competition. Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Make Naira Bets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With Naira Bets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NairaBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. Naira Bets, racing's best play.
You're watching Belmont Park Live on MSG Plus. Good to have you with us on this Wednesday afternoon. Final week of this meet here at Belmont Park before we head to Saratoga. And we're 11 minutes to post here in race 9 coming up. 8-5 favorite, the horse we saw before we went to break, Leap to Glory. The White House commissioned a study. What is the best bet in racing? They came up with this. The Naira Bets late pick 5. Low takeout 15%. It usually pays astronomically more than it should. And today we're looking at some monster payouts too. Ooh, I'm taking a look at the board. They are big. We'll give them to you in a moment. Let's go downstairs to Maggie Wolfendale with this Paddock report. It's brought to you by Hillendale Farm. Now standing Bayern for $25,000.
And horses on the walking ring here for tonight's finale. And we'll check in with the drop-down runner. That is number 2, Leap to Glory. Now, last time coming in off the bench, he was an utter mess. He was washed out. He was nervous. He didn't look fit. This time around, he's done a complete 180, as he also does get Lasix for the first time. Actually, Charlie Baker's assistant, Bobby, has been on his head and has done a great job. They've saddled him on the walk, and all things have gone accordingly much, much better than his effort back on June 20th year, and he just looks that much more fit. He isn't washy. All things looking good for Leap to Glory. Now, interestingly, though, enough, is that the only horse in here covered, I think, in the pick 6 is number 1, Ragnar Lothbrok, who is a first-time starter for the Gary Gullo Bar. Now, this guy has been entered and scratched several times throughout this Belmont spring-summer meet. Granted, half of those times were when he was entered as an MTO in turf races, but I always wonder about that. I mean, obviously Gary's very shrewd, but is it also an indication that they don't think this horse is of the utmost talent, so they're trying to find that softer field and trying to face turf horses that are running on the main track? I don't know, but this guy is a good-looking type. He's big, he's solid. He looks pretty fit here overall. I mean, relative to the rest of his other first-time starter friends, he looks probably the most fit of them all. And we'll see. He is a horse that is going to take some money, as we'll also check in with Linda Rice's charge. That's number 4, Dr. Vuno, for a son of Dublin. And these Dublins are always just these big lumbering animals. He is very tall, very big, also pretty green as well, just kind of very unsure, unaware of his surroundings, was snorting, looking around all kind of bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I don't mind him, but I just feel like the first time he's gonna need this learning experience here, Greg.
All right, Maggie, thank you. Get signed up, get started, play along. You can bet any track, anytime, anywhere you like. $200 new member sign-up bonus. Use the promo code LIVE to take advantage. Go to NYRaBets.com to be part of it all. Take a look at the Belmont Showdown online contest. And we have a 3-way tie at the top. Bobby Belmont, Beaver 18, and College Miss all in the mix, but really anybody alive if something wacky happens here in this last race.
Yeah, not much separating a lot of the contenders here, but I'm sure that this last race will make all the difference. Bobby Belmont, though, aptly named, is on top.
Yeah, I like that. Well, the 2 is a massive favorite in the multi-race wagers.
Mm-hmm. Pick 5, pick 6.
Mm-hmm.
Everything.
Look at the field. Current odds. Leap to Glory. Drop down for this maiden claiming time for the first time here for Charlie Baker. Used to be in the barn of Abigail Adsit.
And I like this horse. 8-5. I don't know if you could take 8-5 on anybody in this race, but he's the most logical horse in here.
Call to post behind us, and here is Ragnar Lothbrok, named after a legendary Viking hero. First timer for Gary Gullo.
By heavy breathing out of a Langford mare, Gary Gullo, though, can really prepare these maiden claimers to pop at first asking.
Dam actually had a 10-time winner. All those were sprints as well. Hobnob Hill was the name of that horse.
Mm-hmm.
Leap to Glory. Here's the class dropper for Charlie Baker.
He just leapt out of the walking ring right there, too. So aptly named here. I thought the most logical contender in the finale.
Our American Star, Junior Alvarado, aboard 0 for 20.
Yeah, this is generally just never a horse I like to bet or pick, but he did run a good race last time out, so maybe he's waking up.
They just missed by a neck, one of his better efforts. First timer here, Dr. Vuno for Linda Rice on a Dublin.
And Linda Rice, she can win with her first-timers at maiden claiming levels, but as Maggie alluded to, this one looks maybe a little bit unsure of himself.
Shuffling Madness, this horse taking a drop back down in class to a level that he debuted at for Gary Contessa.
And the right move. He was second against that level of competition. I still think he has to improve in order to win here, though.
Yeah, and that was on a sloppy racetrack, so we're yet to see what he can do against this level on a fast track. The 6th neutral zone first-time starter by Bob and John from Mitchell Friedman.
Actually has some decent pedigree on the bottom side, too. Some siblings have been quite successful. An interesting one at 15-1, a big price.
And another first-timer outside the final, Crazy Dude, son of Bluegrass Cat for Bruce Brown.
The mare was born in 1995. She's produced a lot of foals since then, including the final Crazy Dude. We'll see what he has in store today.
We'll see. Is it going to be a first-timer that steps up and into the spotlight? Or will it be the most experienced runner in the field? 0 for 20. I'm a big believer in that overdue angle. Ran very good last time out. Repeat of that might be good enough to win today.
Switches back to the outside. Exaggerator down to the 16th pole, but Exaggerator has turned the tables. He has won the Preakness. Nice has won the Travers over American Flag. Irish War Cry has won the Wood Memorial. Alice. Good Magic's gonna win his first race, and he's gonna do it in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
And they're off in New York. the premier state-bred program in the United States. When you own a New York bred, your horse can run for more than $44 million in purses, restricted to registered New York breds. And the New York program pays awards to breeders, owners, and stallion owners when their New York breds finish first, second, or third at New York tracks. We have the quality.
Audible, no doubt about it.
You have the opportunity. New York breds, get with the program. The best program.
Each and every day, our show brought to you in part by champion sprinter Run Happy. There he is in the stall at Claiborne Farm in Paris, Kentucky. Undefeated sprinting in his career, all while running without the addition of Lasix medication. He was a superstar whenever he lined up in the gate, especially in sprints. The 2015 sprint champion, enjoying life on the farm these days. We're going to see his runners coming soon to a racetrack near you. Seems like a kind of race where potentially a new face could step up and get the money. And there's one of the new faces in here, Ragnar Lothbrok.
And there's a stat you can see on your screens. Gary Gullo with first-time starter sprinting on the dirt at the maiden claiming level over the last 5 years. He's 29%. Good sample size of 31 horses, 52% in the money, almost a $5 ROI. I feel like there are so many occasions where I'll watch a race run, a maiden claimer, I'll look up, and Gary Gullo wins with a first-time starter at 6-1, 7-1, 8-1, and I think to myself, why didn't I go there? Because he's so consistent with the stat.
Today you did. 9-2. We'll see what happens with more on this first-time starter from the rail. Let's go to Maggie.
And guys, sorry, I did misspeak. Number one, Ragnar Lothbrok is the only one not covered in the pick six, so triggering a pick six carryover. If only I could see a little bit better. I do wear pretty hefty contacts. But Ragnar Lothbrok on the track got a very nice warm-up. You don't often see first-time starters taken away from the pony. And David Cohen, obviously, I would say familiar with this runner, probably having been on him in the mornings, in morning workouts, and took him straight away from the pony. He warmed up beautifully around this main track here at Belmont, and we'll see if Gary Gullo can pad that stat even more here with his first-time starter. Another one is number 8 in here, the Final Crazy Dude. This guy, I have to, same kind of crazy, who's an okay turf mare. And actually talking to Bruce Brown in here, he had a horse run a bit earlier on the card that ran 4th as a first-time starter at a big price, and he said to me that these two worked together. Now that was in a maiden special weight, this one here in a maiden claimer. He did say that the Final Crazy Dude a bit quicker away from the stalls, which I kind of got the feeling too. He's this horse that's really built downhill with these big hindquarters, so I think at least he'll show a little bit of speed, maybe going away from there as he is the last one in. We'll see if he's the first one out here and how straight he breaks as well. Might get a little leg weary in the latter stages of this contest. Just thought that he looked as though as a horse that, as far as fitness was concerned, was probably like 90% there. So we'll see what shakes out. Some interesting first-time starters for sure here in this finale, Greg.
Well, if he were to win the 8th, Final Crazy Dude, the Naira Bets late pick 5 would come back $14,640.
Nice chunk
Pretty
of
incredible.
change.
Here's the 3, and this is the horse who have more starts than everybody combined in this field, our American Star. The good news is 2 starts back. He's coming out of a race. He hit the board. He ran 3rd. 5 of the 8 runners came out and won their next race in there. Then he followed that up with a near miss, his best effort ever.
Yes. but he's still in racing terminology, he hung a little bit, maybe a lot of it. So that's starting to rack up against him 20 times in the past. But hey, 21st time might be the charm.
Tough to take with that kind of record. Even, how do you take even money though on anyone in this field?
No, you can't. That's crazy.
2-horse, yeah, the drop in class, you see it. He deserves to be favored with that, but that is way too short.
And you're not standing on solid ground with any particular runner in here. So, yeah, even money. These are the races, though, when you see a horse being bet at even money, sometimes you just want to take a little bit of a price. And that was my alternative I found with the debuter on the rail.
Yeah, the first timer on the rail. 6-1 now. It's floated back up to Ragnar Lothbrok as the 6-horse moving in. Here's another first-time starter. This horse at 26-1, neutral zone. Jose Lescano aboard the son of Bob and John. How will it play out here in the finale? 4 first-time starters, 3 with experience, 1 with a ton of it. That's the 3, our American Star. Let's see how it plays out here in this 9th race from Belmont Park. Let's go upstairs to Larry Colmus.
Ready for the start. They're off. And it's Leap to Glory right out to the front. Opening up to lead by 3 lengths up the backstretch. Dr. Vano away running in second. Ragnar Lothbrok a step slow to start, is right in behind the leaders and now moving up into contention. Splitting horses and going up to challenge for the lead right now. Ragnar Lothbrok to the front despite a bit of a slow start. Leap to Glory comes right back on the inside, second by 3. And then it's Dr. Vano running in third on the inside, now being passed by the final Crazy Dude out there 3 wide. Shuffling Madness is next by 2, then Our American Star and Neutral Zone at the back. 22.58 the quarter. And battling up front here, Leap to Glory and Ragnar Lothbrok. The 2 of them stride for stride, coming to the top of the stretch. 4 lengths ahead of the final Crazy Dude. And they're into the stretch, and it is Leap to Glory who shakes away after a 45.52 half. Our American Star has moved up into second. Ragnar Lothbrok retreats. Then comes the final Crazy Dude on the inside. At the 16th pole, Leap to Glory's got it by 4. And Leap to Glory and Joel Rosario come home to victory. 3 for Joel today. Our American Star was second, and then Shuffling Madness in the final Crazy Dude in 110.71.
Oh, bet down to 3-5 after the gates open here, and right from the beginning, it looked like the race was over, but then all of a sudden, Ragnar Lothbrok, the first timer, put a little pressure on the 2 in the end. It did not matter.
I thought something might be brewing there for a second after Ragnar Lothbrok gave him a little bit of a run for the money on the front end, but this horse was just too good. He was dropping in class. He got the job done. Good ride by Joel Rosario, who collects his 3rd winner on today's card, and lo and behold, Our American Star, another second place finish.
5th time he's been second now in 21 starts, 3 of the last 4, but Leap to Glory way too good for the rest of this field. The drop in class was everything in here, and a terrific start out of the gate. At least I like to see David Cohen put a little pressure on him and tried to make a race out of it.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, the one thing in hindsight, when the betting public starts betting Charlie Baker horses the way that they bet this horse, it's a sign that this horse is live. We see it, especially with Charlie Baker's horses. So 3-5, I mean, I wouldn't have liked to take that, but he was much the best in here.
2-3 photo for show. We'll sort that out after we come back from a short timeout. Odds on to close things out here in the nightcap at Belmont. 2-3-5-8. Shuffling Madness checking in there for 3rd. We're going to take a break. Leap to Glory, 7th timeout, gets the job done. There's Charlie Baker. Picture time in the winner's circle.
His record-breaking accomplishments on the racetrack paved his way here to the Stall of Legends. Now retired to stud, we welcome the dawning of a new era as this esteemed champion hopes to stake his claim to immortality. His blazing speed and striking good looks have been passed down to his remarkable first foals. Foals that will carry the flag of their famous father and one day hope to break records of their own. Medication-free and undefeated in sprint competition. Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Make Naira Bets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With Naira Bets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NairaBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. Naira Bets, racing's best play.
Back on Belmont Park Live, our nightcap in the books. And Leap to Glory. Odds on short price favorite. Charlie Baker getting it. Joel Rosario, third winner on the card.
Second time out of the Charlie Baker barn. Congratulations to the winning owners and breeders in GZ Stable as well. A good-looking victory today.
$3.30 in the last. We made this race too difficult, I think.
Yeah, we definitely overthought this one.
Our American Star second again. Shuffling Madness, winning that photo for third there. And in the end, let's get a look at these payoffs. The Naira Bets, late pick 5, $1,568 with a 3-5 favorite. In the last, there was another favorite, Gucci Factor winning. Hardest price to come up with was the one that you gave out, Rachel's Blue Moon, in the second leg.
Two favorites comprised in that. One decent price in there, and it returns over $1,500. Not bad for 50 cents.
Couldn't I put that together?
Oh, hindsight's 20/20.
I decided to make this last race so difficult. The Belmont Showdown online contest, and three-way tie at the top. Well done. And that means some points into those accounts. Well done. Again, you can play that contest each and every day. You don't risk any of your own money. You're competing for real prizes, and it's fun. You get to see your name in that leaderboard as well at the end of our show. So have fun with that each and every day that we're on air. Look at the Forbidden Apple. This is coming up on Saturday. I loved him back when he was running. And some big names lining up. Disco Partner, former record holder at 6 furlongs on the turf, and a world record holder at that time. Voodoo Song back in action as well.
This is an incredible race. It actually came up very, very difficult. This is a look at Disco Partner here, I believe in the Jaipur. This was an incredible performance. He was slated to win this race. I mean, he was definitely the class of the field, but he definitely proved it that way. I love to watch this horse run, just his running style, angling out, closing from off the pace. He knows exactly where the finish line is.
He went 106.3 in this race, and that was a full second slower than the year before when he won it.
Wow.
It's incredible. And of course, we love Voodoo Song. Going to be great to see him back in action as well. For Linda Rice, coming off a third in the poker behind Oscar Performance at a mile distance last time out.
Offering Plan, Blind Ambition. There's some really good horses lined up for this weekend as everybody's making their way up north to Saratoga.
Yeah, big weekend, and then that is it. Then we wrap up, pack things up after a Sunday show, Friday, July 20th, opening day at Saratoga. But there's still a lot to be settled here at this meet, and some very good races coming up here. And, of course, those races at Delaware are going to see a late back in action, as we showed you earlier in the show. It's going to be fascinating to see those races that we have on the show. You're going to be making the trip out there for us.
I will. I love Delaware Park. It's a very fun track. It's got one of the most beautiful paddocks that you've ever seen. So I'm excited to go back down there, a place that I've spent many, many times as a child.
We are back tomorrow, same time, 4 Eastern. It was Gucci Factor in our feature race this afternoon. Joel Rosario, one of his 3 wins on the card. Christophe Clement Says this horse doesn't love Saratoga that much, so wanted to try and get one more win out of him before the spot. He did. We'll see you tomorrow at 4 Eastern time. Take care, everyone.